Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Some people say happy Friday. All right. So it is Friday and this is day 2. Let me set me a timer before I forget because we can get lost when we're doing stuff. But I'm going to set a 30-minute timer because this is. Okay, let me get it going. All right, there we are. Because this is 30 minutes in 30 days of minding me, M-I-N-D-I-N-G, and mining me, M-I-N-I-N-G. Y'all heard that? 30 minutes in 30 days of mining me, M-I-N-I-N-G, and minding me, M-I-N-D-I-N-G. We talked a little bit yesterday, as you all may, or some of you may know, those of you who may join or not, I don't know. This is only my third day. This is my third day of doing live, so I'm really brand new to this. However, I am a life coach, and I am a teacher, and I am an organizer, a community builder, a village builder. That is what I am. That's what I do. And what I am doing is working. I am moving into this TikTok space, and this is not where I've been. Most of what I do, I normally do it face to face. But I have decided to move into this TikTok space so that I can engage more people and move into really doing more of what I love to do and what I know beyond a shadow of a doubt I was created to do. I was created to influence people, not particularly in the way that we influence on video, but to influence, period. I was born and I was created to do that. So what we talked about yesterday was putting away a space aside every day for 30 minutes for 30 days of mining me, M-I-N-I-N-G. You know what I mean when I say mine, like digging up, excavating, pulling up stuff that may be buried, right? As well as minding the business of me, right? That's what we're doing for 30 days, 30 minutes for 30 days. So hopefully you'll join us on this journey. If you're just coming in for the first time, subscribe so that you can join us for this journey. This is day 2. This is day 2. And what we're talking about is we're talking about the possibility of there are many of us who do not know what we're called and created to do, right? That ain't me. That ain't me. It ain't me now. But at one time, it was me, right? You understand what I'm saying? And I know there's so many people because I have lots of conversations with lots of people all the time. And a lot of people have no idea what their purpose is in life, what they were created for. So yesterday was day 1 in this topic. And we talked a little bit about finding out, mining, M-I-N-I-N-G, excavating, pulling out what it is that your purpose is in this life, right? If you don't know how to do it, so I gave you I talked a little bit about things you could do to find out if you didn't know. How many of us wake up every day and you're going to a job you don't want to go to, you're in a relationship you don't want to be in, you are in relationship with people that you have no desire to be in a relationship with, but we kind of do what we know to do, but you know in the depth of your soul that what you're doing you really don't want to do. Whatever that is, right? Oftentimes that comes from the fact that we really don't have a purpose for our lives. We really don't have an idea of what we should be doing. And so this is what I want to help you mine in this next 29 days, because we're on day 2 now. I want to help you mine that M-I-N-I-N-G. I want to help you pull that up. I want to help you excavate that, right? So let's talk a little bit about what we talked about yesterday. I'm gonna review a little bit. I got some notes today, right? So we talked about this. If you're the person that has no idea, and I put a timer up because I'm gonna do 35 minutes, I'm gonna be out of here, right? If you don't know what you should be doing, if you have no idea what you were created to do, and you just kind of coasting through life, right? But you know you're not in the right place, and then there is, I'm gonna give you some prompts, some ideas for finding out what that is. So this is a review from yesterday, right? So the first thing you can do is this. You can think about what your favorite pastime was as a child, right? So when you're 5 or 6 years old, what is it that you did at 5 or 6 years old when you had time to do what you wanted to do without interruption, right? What were you doing if your parent or your guardian or somebody said to you, go somewhere and play and get away from me, get out of my face, let me do what I'm doing. You're in my, you go do something on your own time. When you were sent away to do what you wanted to do in your own time, what did you do? What did you do? What did you spend your time doing? Because oftentimes we can find a clue in what we did at our own time as a child as to what we should be doing now. There are often clues there. For instance, when I was a child, when my parents told me go somewhere and sit down, we busy, get out of our face, and they was having, I came up in the 70s, so my parents were having house parties and so on and so forth, and we'll talk about that another day. But if they sent me away, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did. I went in my room, I got all my baby dolls and all of my bears, and I made them my students, and I was a teacher. When I played with my friends and we were on the playground, and they said, "What you want to do?" I said, "I want to play school," and I was a teacher. Now, I knew that I knew that what I want to do as a kid, but as we get older, we kind of move away. We kind of move away from oftentimes from the core of who we are. But we have that information oftentimes when we're itty bitty, before we are distracted, before we are told to do otherwise. We have that information. So these are just a few questions to help you kind of excavate, kind of mine, M-I-N-E, kind of mine what maybe you could be doing. So that's my first question. What was your favorite pastime as a child? Think about that. Take some time to reflect on that, right? And if you don't know already. Or here's another prompt that might help you. If you knew that you were going to leave this earth tomorrow, if tomorrow you knew was going to be your last day on this earth and there were no restraints, what would you do with that, with your day to day? If you had no restraint of time, if you had no restraint of money, if you had no restraint of relationships, you had no restraint. If you had no restraint, but you knew tomorrow was going to be your last day on this earth, what would you do with your time? Ponder that. Think about that. And you all can, I would love for you to answer some questions. I see you all coming in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you giving me your time and your attention for this space. So hello to you all. But if you have, give me something, text me, let me know. Put it in the chat. What would you do with your time if you had time, if you knew you were going to die today? And none of us know how long we're going to be here. And if we didn't know that before, we certainly know that to be true since we experienced the pandemic. We know that we don't know what tomorrow is not promised. An hour is not promised. So if you thought that today would be your last day on this earth and you had no other restraints, what would you do with your time today? Because that might give you an idea of what it is you should be doing with your life, what your purpose on this earth is. Think about that. What would you do with your time if you knew that you weren't going to be here tomorrow and you had no other restraints? What would you do? That may give you an idea of what you should be doing with your purposefully with your life. Here's another question. What do you truly enjoy doing? What do you really enjoy doing? Somebody might say, I really, really enjoy cooking. I love to cook, right? That's my favorite thing to do. I love to cook. Is your purpose tied up in cooking, or is your purpose tied up in serving people, right? What do you truly enjoy doing? You might say, I have a girlfriend, for instance. She loves, when I say love, she loves to thrift shop. Not because she needs to. She likes to thrift shop. So what she will do is she'll go to all these thrift stores and these resale shops, and she has an eye for beautiful things. So she don't junk shop. That's not what I'm saying. She likes to thrift shop. But her eye is so good. She's so good at that the things that she bring back and that she showed me, I'm like, wow, I don't even have that kind of, or I don't enjoy using my time for that kind of thing, but she does. And when she does a haul, the stuff that she comes up with, the majority of it she can't use, or she can't fit, but she'll get it and give it away to other people because she loves to do that. She loves to do that. That lets me know that she also is a great decorator, right? Her house is beautifully decorated. So what that tells me is that she has a knack. She has an affinity for beautiful things, and she knows how to put things together, right? So it's quite possible, and I'm just an example, and I'm going to give you a couple more prompts and we'll move on. It's quite possible that her purpose is in that area of making things beautiful, and it's a very creative space, right? She likes to take different items and piece them together. She's a creator, really, but that's not what she's doing in her everyday job. And her regular job, she doesn't enjoy at all. So that tells me that something in that creative space, in that creative area, that's where she should be working, because she truly enjoys that. Anything that you truly enjoy is going to give you an idea of what your purpose is in this life. If you all are coming in for the first time, thank you for coming. My name is Rukia Day. I am a life coach, and I am talking today. We're on a challenge. This is a challenge. I'm asking you to take the challenge with me. 30 minutes in 30 days to mind the business of you, M-I-N-D, and to mine, meaning to excavate, M-I-N-E, to mine who you are, what your purpose is in this life and in this place. So if you're not following along, follow along, subscribe so that we can go on this journey with me. I would love for you to go on this journey with me. All right, so we're kind of reviewing from yesterday. Yesterday, we're talking about how to find out what your purpose is if you don't already know what that is. So here's another question for you. What thing are you really good at? I just gave you an example of that. What thing are you really, really good at? Because whatever you're really good at could also give you an idea of what your purpose is in this life, what you should be doing in this life with your time in this life. I'm concerned about not only living my best life, but I'm concerned about helping you to live your best life as well, right? Here's another question. One more question that might help you to M-I-N-E, to mine, to excavate what your purpose should be in this world. If money were no object, if time was no object, if you had no other responsibilities, and this kind of crosses over to what we said a minute ago, then what would you do with your time? What would you do? What would you be doing if money was not an object? Because usually, or oftentimes, money is what stops a lot of us, right? Well, I would do so-and-so, but I don't have the money for that. Or, well, I would do such and such, but I got to take care of my family. Or, well, I would do so-and-so, but I don't know, I don't have a car. I'm not sure what it is. I would do such and such if I didn't work such long hours, right? I would do so-and-so if I had energy when I get off work. What is stopping you from doing what you want to do? What is holding you up? Think about that, right? Don't think about that. We'll think about that in a minute. If you had no distractions, if you had nothing to hold you up, then what would you be doing? Sometimes we are so inundated and so busy with the things of life that we can't even really think about it. Because to think about it will cause you to dream. And oftentimes our life doesn't even make place and give us a place to dream. Isn't that something? Oftentimes what we do keeps us so busy that we don't even have time to dream. Do y'all remember daydreaming as a kid? As a child, you might get to daydreaming, right? And when I was a kid, and that was a long time ago, but when I was a kid, I remember just kind of, you daydream too long, some adult would say, snap out of it. What you doing? You need to be doing this or you need to be doing that. And you kind of, when I think about that now, I know that was a horrible thing, that you would stop me from daydreaming, right? You would stop me from dreaming up the kind of life or whatever it is. Because, when you're young, when you're itty bitty, that's what they have, the best imaginations. Because here's the thing, because they are more pure than we are. They haven't been distracted like we are. They haven't been controlled or programmed in the way that we've been controlled or programmed. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with dreaming, right? That is where we need time to dream. That's kind of what this 30-minute thing is about. Really, again, minding yourself and minding the business of you. What would you do? What would you do if you didn't have anything to stop you? Then what would you do with your time? There may be an idea in there. There may be a clue in there as to what you should be doing in terms of your purpose in this life. All right, so let's just say that you have figured out. If you were here with it yesterday, maybe you thought about it. Maybe you have an idea of what your purpose is. Maybe you sat down and said, oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. When I was a kid, I really loved to play with Legos. I really loved the erector sets. I like using my hands to build things. Maybe you said that. Or maybe you said, oh, I know what I love to do. I loved when I was a kid and I could do what I wanted to do, it usually had to do with telling everybody else what to do. How many of you have friends like that? Did y'all have a friend? Did y'all have a friend or friends when you were a kid that loved to tell everybody else what to do? Didn't want to be told nothing but wanted to tell everybody else what to do? Because I did have friends like that. But guess what? Oftentimes those friends have gifts of administration. Oftentimes that bossy kid has a gift of administration. Who does not need a good boss, right? How many times have you worked for a company or organization and the person in charge didn't need to be in charge because they didn't know what they was doing? And it was clear. They don't know what they're doing, right? There is some child somewhere that is bossy as all get out, but that bossy child may have a gift of administration. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. So let's just say you figured it out. Or you have an idea. I think I should be doing this, whatever that is. Then my next question to you will be this. What do you like about it? Right? What is it that you like about what you found? What did you like about that activity? For instance, I told you as a kid, I knew that when I had my free time, I wanted to teach. Let's play school. Let's play school. But I had to be the teacher, right? Let's play school. Let's play school. If I'd asked myself this question, because I fit kind of excavated, kind of MINE, kind of mind what it is that I wanted, then I would say, well, I love teaching. Okay, so the next question would be, what do you truly love about teaching? What did you love about playing school? And my answer would be, what I loved about playing school is I loved to be able to share with others what I knew. Does that make sense? I love the opportunity to be able to share with somebody else what I felt like I knew, or to share with somebody else what I felt like I was learning. Does that make sense? That's what I loved about teaching or playing in school. That's what I loved about it. So my question to you would be, what do you love about what do you love about the activity that you enjoy? What is it in the activity did you love about it? If as a child you loved to play with the erector sets, what did you like about it? I had somebody tell me this, which I thought was quite interesting. And this is one of the students that I work with in the summertime. I work with a program in the summertime for pre-engineering students, right? High schoolers, which I love to do. I love that program. But in that program, I had a student that come in and he said we were talking about their inclinations, right? Because the same kind of work I'm doing with you right now, I do with those kids in the summertime, right? We were talking about his inclination for mechanical items, right? And what he said to me was, which I thought was really interesting. He said, I used to get in trouble all the time for tearing stuff up. And I said, really? He said, yeah, when I was a kid, he said, I used to always tear stuff up at the house. And I said, what kind of stuff did you tear up? And he said, like the remote controls. I would always tear the remote controls up. And then he said, and then my father, he said his father had a BB gun. He said, I always tear the BB. I would just kind of take the BB guns apart. You know what I'm saying? He said, and he had bought this gun one time, and it was a BB gun. I think we're not talking about a real weapon, but he said that he took his father's BB gun apart, and it was brand new. And he said, and his father was like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? He said his dad was completely upset. Why would you do that? I just bought this. Blah blah blah. And he said, I didn't know why I did it. Right. So in our conversation, I kind of make him delve into it. And then he says to me, what I liked about it was, he said, I got a kick out of taking the pieces apart. I said, why? And this is the question I'm asking you. What do you like about the activity that you enjoy? Because if we delve into that, we can find out exactly what your purpose is, right? Oftentimes, right? So I say to him, what did you like about taking it apart? And he said, I wanted to see, he said, I like to see all the little pieces. I said, and then what? You just like to see the pieces separated? And he said, no, he had to think about it, right? And this is what I'm asking you to do. He said, no, it wasn't that. I said, well, then what about it did you like? So you separated all these zillions of pieces. He said, I said, and then what? And he thought about it and he said, what I liked about it was he said, because I put them back together. I said, everyone, he said, no, not everyone. He said, but most of them I put back together. He said, but what I like to do was I like to be able to put all the intricate pieces back together without breaking any of it. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was fascinating. That fascinated me. I said, really? He said, yeah, I liked being able to put all those pieces back together and none of them be broken. So it was the delicate pieces of it that he liked to do. Right now, when we had started this conversation, we were talking about all kinds of engineering, right? We were talking about civic engineering, civil engineering. We talked about, so it was all kinds of engineering. We talked about chemical engineering. But when he told us that story, when he was able to explain that to us, it became very clear to us that what best fit him was mechanical engineering. Does that make sense? What would fit him best in the field of engineering would be mechanical engineering, because that's what he liked to do. That whole, so if you are mechanically engineered inclined, if that's a word or statement, then you understand what I mean. All those little bits and pieces, that's what he liked. That's what he enjoyed. We found out later that he also loved erector sets, right? He also loved Legos because he liked to get in it with his hands. That makes sense. So he can't be an architectural engineer. He wouldn't get any pleasure out of that. He needed to be able to get his hands in it and feel the pieces and move the pieces around. Does that make sense? So my question to you is, if you have learned, if you realize, if you're thinking about in your reflection time, in your 30 minutes in 30 days of minding yourself, if you come up with the idea that, oh, I know the activity I like is taking pieces apart, whatever it is, or taking guns apart. That's what he did, take BB guns apart. Then what about the activity do you like? That's the next thing you need to know. What about the activity do you like? All right. What do you love about it? That's our day 2. So that's what I need you to think about today and talk about today. In your time today, in your 30 minutes, what about it did I like? Number 1, back to yesterday. What did you love to do in your spare time? Because we're trying to find out your purpose, right? What do you love to do if you don't have any distractions and you don't have anybody to stop you from doing it or anything to stop you from doing it? What do you love to do in your spare time? Or what did you love to do as a child when you were innocent, before anybody came and told you that you couldn't do what you may have wanted to do? You find it out first what your purpose is, or come to at least what you think your purpose is. Once you find out what that is, what that activity is, then the next question that I want you to think about in your time today is, what about that activity do you like specifically? Not, oh, I love to dance. Okay. But what about dancing do you like? Right? Do you like the way you feel when you're dancing? Do you feel sexy when you're dancing? Is that what you like? Do you like the rush of adrenaline that you feel once you get to dancing? Right? Do you like the fact that you're so good at it that it garners a lot of attention when you dance? What about, you understand the difference? There are differences. I'm asking you specifically to do that today. Today, think about that. What specifically do I like about the activity that excites me? Does that make sense? I see a lot of you coming in. Hopefully you'll say hi, say something. This is only number 3, I think, of the lives that I have done. So this is a new territory for me. Y'all got to help me with it. Tell me how it work. I'm looking at all this stuff all floating all over the scene. Y'all mean all over the screen. Y'all can look at me and tell I'm a middle-aged woman, right? So I come from Facebook. I don't know shit about what I'm doing right now. I'm just I'm from Facebook. From the FB generation. So all of this is new. So say hi or something. I see y'all floating in, but I don't see y'all ain't saying nothing. Tell me if you know your purpose. What is your purpose? What is your purpose in this life? That's what I want to know. What is your purpose in it? Have you discovered your purpose in this life? Do you feel like you are moving in your purpose? If so, tell me about it. I want to know. This is 30 minutes in 30 days of minding the business of me. That's the challenge. I want you to take the challenge with me. Come with me, subscribe if you have not, and I'm asking you to take this challenge with me. Because the question I originally posed is, where would we be in our lives? Where would we be? I see somebody said, hey lady, Audrey, how are you? How are you? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming in. I'm asking you all to take the challenge with me, because the original question was, where would you be in your life if you had determined what your purpose was, and then you set aside at least 30 minutes for 30 days to work on just that, right? If you trusted, or if you committed to 30 minutes for 30 days to work on what you believe your purpose on this earth is, how much happier would you be? How many more lives could you affect? How happy would you be in your home, right? How much better a parent would you be if you knew that you were moving, living, and breathing in your purpose? How much better a mate would you be if you knew and felt on a daily basis that you were moving in your purpose, that you were living and breathing the reason that God put you on this earth? That's a totally different kind of existence. It really is. It's a different existence. And I'm saying that, for one, because I feel like I'm in my purpose. I feel like me talking to you, not feel like I know that me talking to you right now is part of my purpose. Because one of my purposes on this earth is to be a teacher. I've been teaching all my life. I was teaching even to my bears and my baby dolls when I was 3 and 4. I am a certified teacher, right? But I'm a teacher naturally. And that's what I'm asking you. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm hoping that you will take the challenge, subscribe, go along with us for 30 days in 30 minutes and 30 days of minding the business of you for the purpose of finding out what your purpose is. If you don't already know, and if you know, share it with us. Maybe you have some stories that you can share as well, because there are people that don't really know and would love to hear from somebody like you, right? And if you found out what your purpose is, then I would ask that you would share that information with us. Let us know, what is your purpose? What's your purpose on it? Or do you know? Right? Do you know? If you don't know, hang out with us for 30 minutes for 30 days. And the day is now 29, because we on day 2. Hang out with us. I would love for you to go along with us. Hang out with us. We would love to assist you, right? To grow with you, and you grow with us as we all kind of delve into that. What is our purpose in this earth? What should we be doing with our time? Because if we're not living a purposeful life, then aren't we just kind of living, right? If we're not living a purposeful life, a purpose-driven life, there's a book somewhere called that. I remember that years ago, The Purpose-Driven Life. That's a different kind of life than just kind of moseying along. Do you understand? And I'm sure y'all do. It's a different kind of breath, right? You take a different kind of breath when you're taking a breath with purpose. when you're taking a breath with meaning and you don't feel like you're being pushed through life or dragged through life. How many of you have felt like you were being dragged through life? Because I know I have. I've been there. I've been there. I've been there where I felt like this is for the birds, man. Because I can't do this every day. I remember my last, I'm going to share this a little bit with you. We got about 5 minutes because this is 30 minutes in 30 days of minding the business of me. You all follow along. Subscribe so that you can go on this journey with us. I'm challenging you to 30 minutes in 30 days of minding the business of you and mining, M-I-N-I-N-G, excavating, pulling up, digging up, right? Who you are and what you should, and what you desire to do, not should, but what you desire to do in this earth, in this time. Because we only have a certain amount of years, right? But this is a true story. I'm going to share this and then I'm going to be done. Because we're at about 30 minutes. I got 4 minutes on my clock. So I'm going to try to get it to you real quick. But in my last job as a teacher, I am a certified teacher for K through 12. K through 12 language arts, and the majority of the time that I spent in the classroom, I did it in alternative schools. So I had very challenging students, but I loved alternative school. I really did. So anyway, I remember though, when I made up my mind that I was going to leave the profession of teaching, I like to say I stopped teaching for the man and I moved over to teaching my community, right? But I remember when I made the decision to do that, I was sitting in my classroom and it was at the end of the year where, teachers have to pack up everything. And where I was actually in Atlanta at the time. And at the end of the year, this made me so sick. They made us pack up our room every year as if you weren't going to be there next year in the exact same room. And they say, well, we gotta wash the floors and the walls. That used to piss me the hell off. Do you hear me? Every year you pack up all your stuff like you don't know them. And then when you come back next year, they put you in the exact same room. So I remember I was getting ready to pack up my room. And I was packing my room. And I had a co-teacher. My co-teacher was sitting on the other side of the room, and I was so fed up not with the kids, because it was never the kids. It was always the administration. It was always a lack of consistency in administration. It was always the fact that every other year we got a new principal who was like almost, he or she may as well have said, I'm a new sheriff in town, because when they came in, everything changed. So whatever the initiatives were, those initiatives went out the door when you've been working on them for 3 years already. And then here comes a new principal. Yeah, that don't mean we ain't doing that no more. It was ridiculous. And I got fed up. So we talking about after 20 years. I just got fed up. And I'm sitting there getting ready to go into my last meeting of the year with my principal. And I said to my co-teacher, she asked me something about next year, you want to do blah, 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 blah. And at that moment, that split moment, I don't even know, I'm not sure where the courage came. But in that split moment, I looked across the room at her and I said to her, I'm not coming back next year. And she said, say what? I said, I'm not coming back next year. And she said, what? Because we hadn't had this discussion, because I hadn't had it with nobody. I think I had it with myself in that last 4 or 5 minutes. And I was like, I'm not coming. She said, what are you talking about? And I said to her, don't ask me no questions, because I ain't got no answers for you, except that I'm not coming back here next year. She said, why? You going to look for another job? I said, don't ask me no questions. I'm going to tell you no lies. All I know is I ain't coming back here next year. When I walked out of that room that day, because after I left her, I had a meeting with the principal. And I said, I'm gonna tell you what I said to her. This is when I let you know that I was serious when I said to my co-teacher, I'm not coming back. When I sat in that meeting with my principal, and she said, well, what are we gonna do? I didn't like something that she said to me, first of all, because she came there and gave me an observation on the last day of school. When I say the last day, and her observational note was that she told me I need to take an L for the last the last check, I can't remember what it was, but she said, this was the problem was. The problem was I had a student in my class, this is alternative, mind you, that hadn't been in class for 2 months. But that student came on the last day of class, and she said to me, when I walked into your room, you weren't giving her a one-on-one lesson. This is the last day of school. This is the last hour of the day. This kid hasn't been there for 2 to 3 months. And she said to me, well, you got to take a L on this one because you weren't engaged with the student when I walked in. And she knew the chick hadn't been there for almost 3 months. She knew it herself. I looked at her. I said, wait, what? Because she let her in the metal detector. So she knew. And I said, are you talking about so-and-so? She said, well, yeah, because you weren't giving her a one-on-one lesson. I looked at her and she says, well, I can't give you all perfects. You got to take an L for that because you weren't giving her. She said, are you okay with that? I said, no. She said, what? She tried to talk over it. And then she said, what you going to do for next year? And I looked up at her and I said, get the hell out of here. Oh, what? I said, get the hell out of here. That's what I'm doing for next year. Why would you say that? And then I shared with her some of the same things I shared with you all. The same, I'm thinking about how this is not where I need to be. I'm over with this, right? But I told her some of the things that I told you. It ain't ever been the students. It's always been you all. And I went through the whole thing and she looked at me. She said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm not sure, but I know one thing. I'm done with this. I'm done with this. When I got through talking, you know what she said to me? I wish I could go with you. That's what she said. I wish I could go with you. Because she knew, just like I knew, that at that moment in time, in that space, that she was not doing what she was called to do. Now, let me go back to me. Did I believe I was called to be a teacher? Yeah, I'm still called to be a teacher. But what I did know is my time teaching for the man was up. It was absolutely up. But because I'm a natural born teacher, I'm still doing what I know I was called to do. Does that make sense? That's my time. I'm still doing what I know that God created me to do. And that is share the knowledge that I have with those who may not have it or those who can use it. Right? Right? Those who can benefit from it. So that's my 35 minutes. So, all right. I'm about to close this down. If you are here for the first time, thank you for joining. This is only my third live. But I am a life coach. I am a teacher by profession. I'm a life coach by profession as well. And so what I want to do is I am moving into this new TikTok space. I'm FB generation, right? But I'm moving into this TikTok space and I'm challenging you. Share this with somebody that maybe you've had a discussion with, or share this with somebody who you know might be wondering, what should I be doing? What am I to do with my time, right? Or am I moving in my purpose? Or am I living in my purpose? Am I wasting my time, right? Am I lacking the courage needed to really move out in my natural gifts, talents, and ability? Because that's where your purpose is. You're going to find your purpose in your natural giftings, talents, and abilities. That's where they are, right? That's where they are. And when you are a child and when you're a child, before we get bogged down with other junk, that's really when we kind of know. Because as a child, if you have the space to do that, you're using your natural gift, talent, and ability. You're using it because it's natural, right? It comes from your center. It's not until we get older and we get off course. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you all. And if not, tell me. Say it don't make no sense. What you talking about? I don't get it. Let me know. I'm challenging you. This is a challenge. 30 minutes for 30 days of mining me, MINING, excavating, and minding the business of me. Take the challenge with me, please. Sub and take the challenge with me. Tomorrow will be day 3. Let me just quickly go over what we talked about yesterday and today. And then tomorrow will be day 3. So day 1, the question is, what is your purpose in this life? Are you living your purpose in this life? That's the question. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? And if you don't know your purpose, then the prompt was, or the challenge is for you to think about what you do, or what you did as a child, maybe in your spare time, in your free time, because oftentimes that will give us an idea of what our natural talent, gift, or ability is, right? So what is your purpose? Do you know what your purpose is? And if you don't, reflect on it. Try to figure out what it is what your purpose is. And then the question for today is, whatever that activity is that you did in your free time or that you love to do now, it could be now. It could be now. You could have something that you love to do now, although it may not be what you're doing as a job, right? But if there's something that you truly enjoy doing, that you do naturally, that you probably get compliments on, people probably say, wow, she's good at that. Or you get haters because they see you good at it and they hating on you because you're good at it, because there's a lot of that too. But if you find out this activity I do naturally, this thing I'm really good at, then what about that activity do you enjoy? What exactly about that activity do you enjoy? That's the second question for today. If you know what that is, then what exactly in that activity do you enjoy? For instance, for me, I get joy in teaching. What specifically do I like about teaching? I like being able to share with others what I believe I have knowledge of. I also like learning with others too. And a lot of times it's that kind of exchange. You learn from me, I learn from you. I love doing that. That's one thing about teaching that I love. I love being able to share the knowledge that I have and receive knowledge from others. So that is question number 2. We got something else tomorrow for 3. That's going to be our third session of 30 minutes and 30 days of minding me, MINDING, and mining, excavating what's in me. Does that make sense? Because where would you be? Where would you be if you took 30 minutes a day just to work on you for 30 days? Huh? Where would you be if you gave 30 minutes for 30 days to you without distraction? Where would you be? What would you accomplish? Where would you find yourself in this world? That's what I'm here to help you with. All right? So listen, share this challenge with someone. First of all, take it yourself. Take the challenge. Go with me for 30 days. Go with me for 30 days. It's going to be fun, right? Go with me for 30 days and then take this and share it with somebody else who you know. I know some of y'all have children that have no idea what they should be doing. I know you do. And I know some of you are not really sure what you should be doing, but you know that you're not doing what you should be doing because you feel it. You feel it in your soul, right? You feel it every day when you go to work and you're like, this is not, there has to be more than this. There's got to be more than this. I know it because I've been there. And I have too many conversations with too many people that say the same thing, right? Let's find out what it is. Take that challenge. 30 days, 30 minutes and 30 days to find out what it is. What it is. What should I be zoning in on? What should I really focus on that's going to help me to live my best life, not just for me, but for the people that I'm in a relationship with. So not just for me, but for my husband, or not just for me, but for my wife, not just for me, but for my children, not just for me, but for my parents, not just for me, but for my neighbors. How about that? Not just for me, but for my community, right? Because I'm not just in relationship with my mate or my children. I'm in relationship with people in my community. Does that make sense? That's another thing. That's another gift that I know I have. I'm a community builder. I'm a village builder, right? I build village. You doing that? That may or may not be your thing, but I build village. Okay? So join me tomorrow for day 3. Day 3, and we'll talk about what's going to go on tomorrow, day 3. But join me. Take the challenge. Share the feed with somebody else that you know can benefit from what we're doing here today. Send me any questions that you have, and share. If you know what your purpose in life is, or you already in it, tell us. Tell us. If you figured it out, tell us how you figured it out. Right? Help somebody else. You don't have to go down with all the information, right? And that's what community is about. If you got some information, share, tell somebody else. Let somebody else know. Right? There's room out here for everybody. Let somebody else know. So if you came to that realization, let somebody else know. Share it with us so we can talk about it, right? And help somebody else along the same journey. All right, listen, it's been a blessing and a blast. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and then I'll see you all tomorrow because I'm committing to 30 minutes for 30 days with you. All right, take care.